every single one of you.
I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
This is my home. They're gonna need a wrecking ball to take me out of here.
Good day, everybody, wherever you are in the world today, whether it's morning, evening, or anywhere in between. Welcome to unRekt Traders. Today we're going to talk about Kaspa. And we're on the machine right now. We're going to start in the monthly. Now, there isn't a ton of data on the monthly. It's not even a very good, accurate description of what I'm going to say on the monthly. But we do have the 10 kind of above this plus 100 range. And it looks like we're just starting to come into that 10. So we should see a return back into this 8.6 cent area. Now, I don't want to really start on this one. So we're going to jump right into the weekly here. Again, not a ton of data. We can go off the 20 and the 10. The 50 is kind of newish. But the 50 itself is just sitting on the top of this plus 100. So it's acting as a current resistant mark, which we can see that it has. Now we had the 10 and the 20 coming down into this range. Once the 10 and 20 came down in, we saw the return almost immediately to the 20 here. So our target was hit on the 20 and the 10. And now we're just kind of hovering on this 50 because it's unable to enter in other than by wick until this 50 does come into that range. And we're just starting to come into it now. So we could see the move to the, with the body to this 20 here, and then we'll kind of see how it reacts. Now that 10 is, well, the 10 is only halfway through. So the possibility to move down to probably the support of 10 cents is there. And then that would actually bring us into this kind of support resistance level in this little range here. So coming into the, well, let's look at the 3-day. On the 3-day itself, the 10 is somewhat low. We had a little bit of a pop up. So, you know, the 100 acted as a little bit of support, and then the 10 kind of pushed us up a little bit. Didn't react that great. Starting to come back down. And again, that 100 is just starting to come into that range. So we can have the move to the 50. We've already hit the 50 target. And as long as this 100 stays down below the top of this plus 100, then we can see the move all the way down to that 8 cent level. Again, we do have that support though at 11.6. So, you know, it's not going to just be an immediate drop down. It's going to have to kind of play its way through. On the daily itself, on the daily, we have a mean reversion starting on the 200 purple here at basically started on the 8th. So we did have that move down, and we're looking for continuation until we get to this 10 cent 10.3 mark. Everything looks to the downward direction. We had the pop up on the 10 here and on the 20, bringing us back up into this little pop to the 20 here. And then because the 200 is down below, it didn't actually get to break free. And then this 200 purple acted as resistance. And now we're going to likely move down into this area down here. 4 hour. 4 hour itself, we're going to see a move up before we see the move down. We're sitting on the 200 support, which is 200 is still within that range. And then we have that 10 starting to move up. Now we could stay in trend, but likelihood is, really depends on the one slip here. We have the 20 or the 20 white here starting to move up into trend. So we'll see how much this can stay. But as of right now, if it kind of stays level like this, that 10 will start to push up into this range. Once it pushes into the range, then we can see the move up. Might only come to the 100 actually, maybe to the 14.4 before continuation to the downside. And again, that 14.4 is pretty much where our main resistive level is, you know, coming back from March 21st here all the way across. So we could see that pop up to the 100, maybe the 20 before continuation to the downward direction, unless things do start to go bullish again. On the 1 hour, again, pretty bearish. We went into trend on the 20 here, pushing us down. We look at the quasi, we can see the 20 and 10 both pretty much went into trend at the same time to the downward direction. 50 followed, and now the 100 is also there. So we have a little bit of a push up on the 10, but again, a lot of resistance at that 200 level, 13, let's just say 14 cents. So we are going to hit that resistive level, and then we'll see where the 10 is sitting. Once we get up into there, see if that 10 can push back down and continue in the downward direction to this 3.2 at 13.2. But as of right now, you know, it is going to try to push up, but we are in the trend to the downward direction. And as long as this 20 white stays below the minus 100, then we'll see that trend continue to push down. In the Nexus. I think all targets have been hit. If I looked at the screener, I'm pretty sure that's what it says. So let's look at the 4-hour on the higher time frame first. And we can see that we are above that yearly range. Again, yearly range was down below, so we were looking for a continuation of upward direction, which we got to the yearly R1. And let me just delete this brush mark. And then the same thing on the quarterly. Let me bring up one more quarterly here. And we're actually going to have a new quarterly coming pretty quick on this. And the current quarterly, let's just bring that up. Future range, which we're pretty, well, price is right at it anyway, as of right now. But again, same thing, pretty much the same as the yearly. Quarterly was looking in the upward direction. You know, we came up to that quarterly R1, quarterly R, or the yearly R1, and then we kind of ran out of steam, pushed down back below the quarterly R1, and then likely, you know, usually once that happens, if we can't get back above it, then we come back into that range. In this case here, they're just sitting on the current quarterly, which isn't such a bad thing really, because they don't have to move price too far in the downward direction to pop up. And that quarterly, new quarterly, is going to be in 4 or 5 days. So again, unless we have a huge push down, this quarterly will stay above the previous, so we will look for continuation in the upward direction still, and then go from there. So it'll also really depend on where this quarterly, where the opens on the quarterly. If it opens up below, then we'd be looking for a downward direction back into this quarterly range before continuation in the upward direction. On the monthly itself, on the monthly, we're looking for a continuation on the upward direction, which we got. Now we did try to get above that previous month high where we failed, and then we broke through. Once we broke through, we came back to that monthly S1, and we're just kind of sitting within that range right now, or a little bit below that range actually. So we could, the probability of us taking out this low is still there, and we'll see if we can do that and then push down into this 10-cent little quarterly hold here, and then push up for the new, or push into this monthly, sorry, and then from there pushing up when we get that new quarterly to new highs. Come into the weekly here just a little bit, zoom in a bit so we can see the weekly. So the weekly is a neutral weekly, pretty much almost identical to the previous pivot. It's a wider pivot, so it typically means that we're going to be range bound, which we're kind of seeing as of right now. So we opened up above the weekly, tried to push up to the previous week high. We failed trying to get through this quarterly, and then we broke down into this weekly range, and we're just kind of holding this little area as of right now. So that's all I got on Kaspa. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.
Visit unRekt.me and download our free powerful indicators, and join our community of traders in our Discord server and get full access to the Machine Suite Indicators, the Nexus Suite Indicators, and the Nexus Screener.